everyone, and welcome into the Voice of College Football, Ohio State. And we are going to be talking today about offensive lineman Jake Cook. Now, if you don't know the story of Jake Cook, it's kind of been a little bit of a long one, but I'll try to sum it up as best I can. Jake Cook is an offensive lineman from Westerville North, Westerville, Ohio, which is central Ohio, obviously kind of main recruiting grounds for Ohio State. You find somebody who's really good in central Ohio, most likely they're going to come to Ohio State just based off the fans, the tradition, growing up a fan, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, Jake Cook has been a lifelong Ohio State fan, and he has been somebody that Ohio State knows if they offer Jake Cook is most likely going to come to Ohio State. Now, Jake Cook is currently committed to Louisville, and he has gained his 4th star on Rivals here recently. The thing is, he's not even hardly ranked on these other recruiting sites. I think at some point, 24/7 Composite had him like outside the top 1,000. I don't know if it's still that way because Rivals has moved him up, but he was not very high in a lot of the other recruiting services. And he's kind of come on here lately to be better. Now, I would normally bring up his film and show you kind of the player that he's been, but there's been so much talk about how much of an improvement he's been over this last year that I don't think I want to show you his junior film just because I don't think it does him complete justice for the type of improvements that he has made. What I do have is I do have a couple of clips from Bill Kurlick going to the Ohio State camp on June 5th, and that Ohio State camp reportedly from Bill and Berm really impressed Justin Fry and Ryan Day. So here's 2 clips of him at the camp. Now, Jake Cook really wants to come to Ohio State, like we talked about before. And at this camp, not only did Jake Cook impress Ryan Day and Justin Fry with how much improved he was, but also with how hard he worked as well. This was also the camp that Jakeem Stewart was at, and reportedly he did go up against Jakeem Stewart a number of times. Now, Jakeem Stewart, very good. He's a 2026 guy, but he's most likely going to reclassify to 2025. He's going to be a top 10 player in the 2025 class, at least on 24/7. That's the rumor. But he's a very good player. And Jake Cook went head to head with him, and Jake Cook held his own. I'm not going to say Jake Cook cooked him or anything like that. Obviously, Jakeem Stewart is a very good player, but he held his own, which was impressive to the Ohio State coaching staff. What was also impressive is how eager and how ready Jake Cook was to get into these drills. Berm told a story on his podcast where Jake Cook essentially came to the ground and just basically puked a ton of Gatorade, wiped his mouth, got right back in line, and was the next one up right away. And it was just ready to go. That's how much this kid wants to impress. That's how much this kid wants to be at Ohio State. Now, you might be thinking, well, JR, they should just offer him right away. This should be a kid, no doubt, from Ohio, wants to come to Ohio State. Why in the world hasn't Ohio State offered him? Well, it's not that simple. Ohio State is also looking at 2 other center prospects in Caden Strayhorn and Andrew Stargell. Now, Caden Strayhorn did not commit 2 weeks ago when he came on his official visit. I think it was May 31st to Ohio State, which leads people to believe, okay, he may not be their first choice, or maybe he isn't Caden Strayhorn's first choice. Caden Strayhorn does have some other offers as well. But the guy that really solidifies the thinking now is that Andrew Stargell did not commit this weekend either. Now, I'm making this video on Monday night, so who knows? Maybe Tuesday at noon comes and Andrew Stargell is committed. All right, whatever. It is what it is. Egg on my face. But I do want to make it clear, even if Andrew Stargell does commit, like, that is really good for Ohio State as well, because Andrew Stargell is a really great prospect too. I think Jake Cook is a really good prospect, not just from what you see on his tape, but how much he has been improving as well. And you have to think about the difference between an Andrew Stargell and a Jake Cook based on their development. All right, down in Georgia, Andrew Stargell training all the time, good weather, playing football all the time, not as strenuous uh, high school football rules down there. Jake Cook up here in Ohio can only train on the field a certain number of times. Obviously, you can get the gym and weightlift and do all those things, but he can't be on the field training as much because of the weather and also because of some of the Ohio high school athletic association rules. This isn't a video to go talk about how terrible they are. We would like to see things be different with them. Thank you, Trey McNutt, for helping get some 7-on-7, some more 7-on-7 in Ohio. But essentially, what's going on here is Jake Cook's development has not had the same opportunity as somebody like Andrew Stargell, which, Andrew Stargell is not a highly rated recruit either. He's a 3-star as well with most services, and he is somebody that is kind of become a late bloomer. Ohio State has known about Jake Cook for a long time. Jake Cook has been coming to the camps. Jake Cook has talked to Justin Fry ever since he's been hired on at Ohio State. 11 Warriors did an interview with Jake Cook, I believe his freshman year or right after his freshman year. And I mean, Jake Cook talked about how he had a good conversation with Justin Fry, where Justin Fry told him, "Hey, come back, do these different things, learn the position better. Increase your strength, lean yourself down a little bit, and get better footwork." Well, Jake Cook has taken everything Justin Fry has told him to heart, and he is improving each and every time. It just so happened that with the way he was able to transform his body a little bit and the improvements that he made with his footwork, it has taken Ohio State's attention. And so what's going on here with Andrew Stargell and Caden Strayhorn, with neither of them committed yet? Like I said, Andrew Stargell could commit tomorrow. Who knows? But so far, as of Monday night, neither of them have committed yet. It begs the question, is Ohio State starting to prefer a Jake Cook over an Andrew Stargell or Caden Strayhorn? Maybe. This is a situation where if you offer Jake Cook, he is most likely going to commit right away, right on the spot, maybe call you back 5 minutes later. Like, he is most likely going to commit right away. And so you want to be careful with, do we offer Jake Cook because he's going to commit right away, or do we just say, nope, Andrew Stargell's our guy, he's going to come with us, and you kind of risk that opportunity for Jake Cook to get a little bit more of a chip on his shoulder and say, no way, I don't need Ohio State, I can move on from there? Do you risk Michigan coming in and offering this kid and him being like a JJ McCarthy a little bit, where he's like, Ohio State never wanted me, and they went after somebody else instead of me, and I can come in here and I can be the next kid that came from Ohio to show it to Ohio State. You never know with these kids, and at the end of the day, like, they can do whatever they want. I mean, it's their future. It's what they want to do. But Ohio State finds themselves in a bit of a sticky situation here. I don't think you want to come out of June without a center prospect that's committed. I think you want one of Caden Strayhorn, Andrew Stargell, or Jake Cook committed and ready to come in, especially somebody like Jake Cook, who can come in as often as he can. I don't know if Ohio State thinks Jake Cook is a better player than Andrew Stargell. I don't know if anybody knows that for sure. But I think Ohio State is beginning to see the opportunity with Jake Cook being an Ohio kid, being able to be closer to the campus, being able to ensure he's not going to be a flip prospect or something like that. I mean, imagine what happens with Andrew Stargell. Andrew Stargell has a fantastic senior year, gets that 4-star, and then he starts getting Georgia, he starts getting Alabama, he starts getting all these people that start coming and contacting him. And you might be in a situation where it's like, is Andrew Stargell going to be in this class? I don't think you worry about that with Jake Cook, based on a lot of the things that people have said and based on his, like, what he's done over the years. So at the end of the day, Ohio State finds themselves in the sticky situation here. Do we go with the guy that we haven't been as impressed with throughout the years, but he had a fantastic camp, or do we go with the guy that we were a little bit more impressed with, a little bit of a late bloomer, but he's out of state, and you could possibly run the risk of him maybe finding interest from other programs that could make things a little, sketchy? I personally would go with Jake Cook. I am one of those people that says Ohio State needs to recruit more Ohio guys. And if you have a kid in Ohio who has shown the drive and who has shown the improvement and who has shown that they are willing to do whatever it takes to get that Ohio State offer, I say take them. Even if that means you lose out on some of these other national guys. Now, if Andrew Stargell, was a 5-star recruit or a high 4-star recruit, maybe my opinion is different. And this is not an anti-Andrew Stargell thing. I think Andrew Stargell has great tape. I love how mean and aggressive he is. But there's something about these Ohio kids. And I really think that Ryan Day is learning the things that he needs to learn about recruiting Ohio, getting better, doing these things. And so I think if we don't see a commitment from Andrew Stargell by, I would say, the end of Thursday, I think most likely at the end of this week or sometime next week, you're going to see an offer go out to Jake Cook and Jake Cook commit to Ohio State. We'll see what happens, but I think this is a really interesting development. I think this is really fun to follow. Berm has been all over Jake Cook for years now. If you don't go read Rivals, go check him out. He has put out some great stories. Bill has as well. Bill Kurlick, he's done a good job covering Jake Cook as well. But just really good stuff. I think it's an interesting story. I'm always rooting for the Ohio kids. I want the Ohio kids to get to Ohio State, have that passion for the program, have that pride in the program. And I don't want this to come off as I'm against Andrew Stargell. Like I said, I'm not against Andrew Stargell. I'm not against Caden Strayhorn. I think both of those guys are going to be awesome offensive linemen as well. There's just something about these Ohio kids. Let's see what happens. Let me know what you think is going to happen. You think Ohio State's going to go Jake Cook, Andrew Stargell, Caden Strayhorn? What do you think? They're going to need to get a center prospect at some point. I don't think they take more than one. I don't think any of these guys sign or commit if the other one's committed. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think will happen, and let me know what you want to happen as well in the comment section. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please do like and subscribe. We do appreciate it. Have a good night.